Namaste and welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity Yoga, and we're going to continue with our concept exercise. I pull a concept from the jar and I begin to talk on it for about 5 minutes. I increase my time from 4 minutes to 5 minutes, and I do my best to just speak on it. What comes from the heart is what you get, and definitely no editing or revising goes on in these videos, as you will see. They are far from perfect, but you'll just get me and this message as it's coming out. I'm going to take a deep breath to begin. I am going to press the timer. Da-da-da-da-da. And this is what I got from my concept. It's called Spiritual Maturity Measurement. Spiritual Maturity Measurement. What is spiritual maturity measurement? So I think what this means is, what is the measurement of spiritual maturity? How do we measure spiritual maturity? In scientific observation, we always want to be able to measure our data to see if it's increased or decreased, or see if it proves our hypothesis and all those types of things. So we like to measure data. So if I'm measuring how mature someone is getting on their spiritual journey, how far they are progressing, I need a measurement tool. So what would be a measurement tool? Well, there's all kinds of measurement tools, I suppose, but one easy one would be basically how relaxed and calm is that person in the face of adversity. That is a really big one. How do they handle frustration? I know that I am progressing to some degree, even though this should not be a linear type of progression, but the way our conceptual human minds understand things is in linear format, unfortunately. But on this linear path I'm on, going from here to there, I see actually that I have progressed and I am progressing. And how do I know I'm progressing on this path? Is I know that things that used to bother me so much, I don't have a tendency to react as much as I did to them. My reactions, though I still react, I still have an ego, my reactions are much smaller and much less devastating to the people around me or to myself. I do not get bothered that easily. I'm much more easygoing. Things can come into my life and I don't get all that excited about them anymore. They may leave my life, and I do not get depressed over the fact that they leave my life. People can come, people can go, opportunities can come, opportunities can go. I'm not attached to outcome. I'm not overly perturbed by the, things that other people are doing. One example of this would be the fact that, just say, I guess, was it yesterday? Yeah, 2 days ago. Prior to going to work, I always write in the morning on my laptop, and I leave it on my kitchen table. I'm in a little dining room where the windows are around me, so I like this space because of the light. So I always try to write a little bit in the morning before I go off to work. And I had my tea with me. I like to sip my hot tea in my morning. It's my morning ritual. And I spilled the tea on the table beside me, and I automatically jumped up and moved everything out of the way and recognized that I had spilled a tiny bit on my laptop, so I just called for someone to bring me a cloth over, and I dabbed it off and cleaned up the mess on the table. It didn't seem like a crisis situation because there was very little on the computer keyboard. So I just left it open and went off to work. When I came back and started writing, because my first inclination when I walked through the doors is to write. It's like an obsession with me. So I began to write, and the computer started short-circuiting to the extent it started flashing on and off, and I would turn it off, turn it on again, and I wasn't making the connection to what happened in the morning because I just did not think it was enough wetness to do anything. And then it just shut right off and went gray, and I had absolutely nothing. And prior to my spiritual progress, I would have been jumping up and screaming, "Oh my God, everything I wrote on that is gone. How am I writing up to so long? It's not there. What will I do? I won't be able to write every morning. I would have lost all the stuff I have written. My novels on there, my books that I've written are on there. What will I do?" And I would have panicked. I would have automatically went to the negative. I would have catastrophized what's the worst possible outcome. And I would have went there and I would have built that up with my emotional energy, and I would have been just in a frenzy. This time, I just took a deep breath. I said, I was obsessed, don't get me wrong. Took my computer, started putting into rice, put it in a box, knew I was going to leave it overnight, knew that I could possibly have lost everything I've written in the last 4 or 5 years. I had so much data on there. I would have lost my ability to write every morning, and it would have been a mess. But I wasn't that disturbed. I was telling myself, well, if that's what the universe wants for me, that's okay. Maybe the universe is trying to tell me that I need to do something other than writing. I'm a little bit too obsessed. Maybe it's good that I take a break from it. That's not my priority now. My priority is to find this greater self within me. So I thought the writing was taking me there. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I'll just leave it as it is. And I decided to just relax into it. I did have a few antsy moments when I was trying to get through the day without writing, because I do have that strong compulsion to write all the time, and it is a really big pull. When I say it's a compulsion, it's a compulsion. But so I felt a little antsy and bored at times, but I got through the day and I went to bed, never thought too much on my computer, got up in the morning, just took it out of the box, had my tea with me. There was no disturbance inside me, no anxiety, no fear of the outcome, nothing. I knew that I would be okay whether or not my computer started again. And even I kind of had faith that it would, but even if it didn't, I knew I would be okay. And sure enough, computer started fine, and I've been writing on it ever since. So that is a sign. That is a spirituality progress measurement right there. It measured that I have indeed grown some. I have been able to let go of the things that I normally would not have let go of. I'm not reacting. I'm not resisting as much as I used to. And that is a sign of spiritual maturity. So that is one of the measurement tools I would use. Anyway, I went over my time. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have an amazing day. Namaste.